Okay, next we have Ian Goldberg, Chief Financial Officer of Prospect Resources.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks everyone for staying around for the afternoon sessions. It's always good to see a few people around. So my job today is really talk about the investment highlights for Prospect Resources. What we'll try to talk you through in the presentation is, why they, what we've pulled together. Of course, we think that the opportunities in battery metals is enormous. And you've seen throughout the day that, there's deficits in almost all of the commodities, rare earths, nickel, lithium, and we think that's going to go for quite some time. We've got a significant experienced management team and board that we've pulled together through our development of the Arcadia project. We've got proven capability within our board in terms of building and operating and financing projects. We are well funded, and we're going to be well funded going forward. Our main priority is really looking at shareholder value and creating that long-term value. We'll go through looking at our board, and I guess my job today is a little bit harder in that we have sold our main project, the Arcadia project. Selling that project was the culmination of a lot of work. What we're positioning here is what we're going to do after that. That project I'll talk about shortly in terms of finalisation. But what we're really saying is we don't want to be just simply an explorer. We want to be a developer. So we've kept the team together in terms of the core capabilities. Our chairman, Mark Wheatley, is a chemical engineer. He also worked for a well-known private equity firm doing deals. So he's very involved with the business. Jerry Fahey's one of the principal founders of CSA Global, extremely well-regarded geologist. We've got Dev Shetty is a entrepreneur, financier, and he's a representative of one of our largest shareholders, family office, and he brings enormous amount of corporate deal making to our board. And then we look at on the management side, we've got Sam, he's an engineer, worked for First Quantum for 12 years building big projects in Africa. Harry Greaves is a miner, but an entrepreneur. He's got some private interest gold mines which he runs, but he's very well connected in the Zimbabwean geological circles and political circles, and all the who's who in mining in Zimbabwe. Myself, I've dealt with a number of African countries. As we noted before, Nigeria, DRC. I've had significant operations in Australia, but I found working in Zimbabwe was pleasantly surprised how easy it was compared to DRC and Nigeria. I'm Zimbabwean myself. Sam is Zimbabwean, John Maketo, Zed Rasiki, Harry. We're all Zimbabwean, so we have a very good understanding of the jurisdiction. And I think what I really want to characterise Prospect is we're pioneers in terms of first movers into Zimbabwe. We were there 4 years ago when most of the investment market thought it was a very bad district. Zimbabwe was just coming out of their previous governance under Mugabe regime. Mnangagwa government has been very, very supportive of investment. Zimbabwe has had a tremendous amount of lack of investment in the past, and they're crying out for good companies to come in and bring in foreign investment and to develop. And we're also a pioneer in lithium, so to speak, because our project was not just spodumene, but it had significant petalite within it as well. So as most geologists will know, Li2O is not all equal. People like to talk about lithia as a grade. They say it's great, but then when you dig deeper, you find there's other products like ambiglanite or lepidolite, and those sorts of things are not well understood, and they don't upgrade as well as spodumene, so they're not as economic. So you need to be able to crack the economic value chain of those, and through our metallurgists, John Maketo and Nick Rathjen, work together, Nick on the marketing side in terms of unlocking the value of petalite in our products. We realized that very low iron petalite, even though it's only a 4% lithia concentrate, once you concentrate it, if it's very low iron, you can sell it into the glass ceramics for about a 30% premium is what you do for spodumene. So that added a lot of value to our project. And John Maketo, a very well known metallurgist. He's worked in Australia. He worked with some of the big lithium mines here. He's responsible for our flow sheet and cracking the petalite and the spodumene, and we did a very good job there. So we go next one. Just looking at our market cap. So we've got obviously 431 million shares. We're just shy under 400 million market cap, with 20 million in the bank as of December. That's come down a little bit since then. But as you can see from the graph, we've had a significant appreciation in our share price this year, and that I'll take you through that process from the beginning of the year. But obviously part of our sales project process, we've committed to shareholders that will distribute 90-95% of the proceeds to shareholders. So there's a significant distribution. We're going to distribute about $430 to $450 million. It's sort of 92 to 96 cents a share. And that's brought a lot of offshore investors, offshore funds onto our register. Hedge funds, they're looking for the distribution, but obviously we've been very keen to understand their motivations post-distribution. Since we don't have a clear project to work on straight away, we wanted to really take them through our investment strategy and development strategy. And one of the key messages they've given us is they are very keen to stay on board. They see the opportunities that Zimbabwe has being very underexplored, but has tremendous opportunities. You know, the change in investment environment in Zimbabwe, and the fact that the team, we've kept them together, and they think we can possibly do this again down the track, and that's our aim. Just a quick case study in terms of what we did at Arcadia. Obviously, tremendous risks going into Africa all over the shop. One of our stated objectives was to reduce the risks where we can. So we drilled out the resource. 85% of the resource was measured and indicated. We did extensive testing, flow sheet testing. John was instrumental in that, and we made sure that he took it from first principles all the way through, so that in any DD process we could prove our flow sheet had no chinks in it. We did a full bankable feasibility study with all third-party input that gave us the credibility to make sure that was right. And, the deep understanding of the lithium markets, especially petalite. Obviously, spodumene is well known, but petalite, not so much. We engaged Roskills to really unlock the market to give information to our investors that, petalite was a huge market and a huge value. So really, we've taken a process and we de-risked the process by really concentrating on things that we could. We did them well, and I think it paid dividends for us at the end of the day. Just looking at how we went through that in the share price, when I came on board with the new chairman at the beginning of last year, the company, from an outside looking in, didn't seem to have a lot of direction. They were talking to deal with the project. They hadn't done a proper bankable feasibility study. So the market didn't quite understand what the investment proposition was. And we sat down and said, we need to prove to people we can build this, prove to them we want to build it. And that's what we set about doing. We looked at the other risks. Petalite was a huge risk, market risk. People didn't understand it. So we decided to build a pilot plant to prove that process. sell the product to the glass manufacturers to show we could get the premium for that product. We ran a partnership process, which involved talking to almost every one of the well-known lithium producers to look at our project, and that culminated in receiving 7 non-binding offers for the Acadia project, which we then, we chose the best one. So looking at that transaction, as I said, we had an enormous interest in our project. We've had a few comments that perhaps we sold it a bit cheap based on the current spodumene lithium prices. But I can tell you, as I said, we spoke to almost all of the main capable lithium producers in the market, and we chose the best risk-adjusted post-tax outcome for Prospect shareholders. And when I say risk-adjusted, I mean we looked at the Hawaii Cobalt who have bought the project, looked at their credentials, looked at the way they approached the project. They asked us over 1,000 DD questions in writing we had to answer. They went through our data room with a fine-tooth comb, unpacked our financial model, and didn't find anything bad, by the way. That was an incredible process, but it showed that they were committed. And when they came to dealing with the project, they came with an incredible offer. And we knew they were not going to get us behind closed doors and try and chip the price down, because they had already done their DD. So we were very happy with that. And as I said, we are committed to returning a lot of the proceeds to our shareholders. It's going to be in the range of 430 to 450 million. We haven't quite decided. Obviously, the process is still ongoing. We hope to finalize that in the next couple of weeks. As it's paid in US dollars, we have to convert that to Australian dollars, and then that'll represent what funds we'll have to distribute. We imagine it'll be in the range of 92 to 96 cents. And off the back of that, we're hoping to keep $30 to $60 million for what we believe is an exciting opportunity in Zimbabwe. And we feel a quantum of funds in that range will really give us a head start in terms of get our hands on some good projects, of which we have in front of us a number of opportunities that we're looking at, and we think it's an exciting jurisdiction. And again, I won't spend too much time on this one, but what we are focusing on is lithium, rare earths, and nickel. Zimbabwe is phenomenally endowed with pegmatites. It is all over the place. Rare earths is well known to be there as well. Nickel, it has been a nickel producer in the past, and a lot of the geologists are surprised at how little nickel mines have been found based on the age of the rocks and the geology that's there. So we're quite excited by that. Looking at the battery electrification metals, well, clearly those are the ones we've chosen. We feel they have a huge disparity in terms of supply and demand, and that's not going to be rectified anytime soon. We think it's a good 5 to 10 year sort of supply gap that we can build into, especially the last comment, Canaccord research believe there's 3.5 billion needed in capital investment out to 2030 to keep up with the forecasts. Where are we going to look? Well, we're going to look primarily in Zimbabwe. Why is that? Because obviously we know the government, we know the jurisdiction, we're very comfortable. Investors have ticked our ability in Zimbabwe, and just in the last 12 months, there's been over $700 million invested into Zimbabwe through 4 different deals. So, we knew Zimbabwe was a great opportunity 4 years ago, and the investment community has realized that. We've got a head start in terms of the opportunities we have in front of us, but the investment community, Tsingshan are there, a very big nickel producer, Hawaii Cobalt, are very keen to partner with us in Zimbabwe to find other opportunities. Sinamine are there, and this brings a huge amount of investment capital into one jurisdiction that gives opportunities down the track, and we're hoping to capitalize on those. Specifically, we're looking outside of Zimbabwe as well. Sub-Saharan Africa, South Africa, we think is just too difficult with their political environment. But places like Namibia is enormous deposits of pegmatite there. It's a very well-known tin jurisdiction. We have some opportunities there. We're looking at perhaps other parts of Sub-Saharan Africa where there's obviously known pegmatites opportunities. So we think that's it's a really open book for us. And then we look specifically in Zimbabwe just to cover off on what we have there. Our geologists feel that they've really unlocked the formula to where the pegmatites are formed in large deposits. Obviously, pegmatites, you do find them in a lot of places, but you need them in large deposits. And the Mashonganyika fault that is in Zimbabwe that sits within the greenstone really seems to attract a lot of large deposits. And we've got a lot of local geologists on the ground looking along those faults. And we are now a beacon in Zimbabwe because we have money, we have done a deal, and a lot of the small private claims owners are coming to us to talk about their deposits. So that's very exciting for us. So just to finish off again on that last one, really we've got we're keeping the team together. We're well credentialed across the park in terms of development, finance, design and marketing. We're well funded, and we've done this before, so we have runs on the board. So we're hoping to do it again. Thanks very much.